Hey guys, it's Jen over at jenscrappypages.blogspot.com, and this is today's card. It's a pretty clean and simple card and can be used for pretty much any occasion you want it. It is a sketch that I found on Pinterest, and I just absolutely loved the simplicity of just the circles being the focal point for this card. I did this for my Wind Down Wednesday last night, so I thought I would go ahead and recreate it so I can include the instructions on the video, and I'll post the dimensions and everything to my blog as well. So the products that I used are the basic black Stampin' Pad, the birthday banners for my happy birthday, the dots embossing folder, which sadly this is retired and no longer available, but I didn't realize that until after I had already made up the card. We do have a new dotted embossing folder coming in the new catalog, but if you already have one on hand, that would be great. Otherwise, you can check out the new one that's coming on June 1st. The dies that I used are the bunch of banners, the layering circles framelits, and believe it or not, the frozen treats framelits. And I used it for this little tiny cherry die because I needed a 1/4 of an inch circle, and this was perfect. I just cut off the little stem. I used 3 different sized punches in addition to it. So I used the 1 inch, the 3/4 inch, and the 1/2 inch. And forgive my punches, they're all older, but they still punch, so I'm not buying new ones. For cardstock, I have a basic black 4 1/4 by 11 and a piece that's going to be 3/4 of an inch by 3 1/4, and that is so you can cut out the frame for your banner. Whisper White is going to be 4 by 5 1/4 and a 3 3/4 by 5 for the inside of the card, plus a 3/4 of an inch by 3 1/4 for the white part of the banner. For the circles, the Flirty Flamingo is a 2 1/8 inch circle, a 1 inch circle, and then a 1/4 inch. Peekaboo Peach is 1 5/8 and a 1/2 of an inch. And your So Saffron is going to be a 1 1/8, a 3/4 of an inch, and a 1/2 of an inch. So let's just get started. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to the inside of my card because I always seem to forget that when I'm doing my videos. I generally add it later, right before I send it. So this 3 3/4 by 5 is just going to go on the inside so you can actually write on it and someone will see it. I guess unless you use, you know, like a white marker. So then what we're going to do is we're going to start with this and go ahead and just start putting our circles onto our paper. And I'm just going to go by what I did here. So our Flirty Flamingo and then our Peekaboo Peach is going to go kind of here-ish. I guess it doesn't really matter in the long run where everything goes. Maybe this goes up a little bit higher, and then we'll put this one. I think this might go up a little higher. This one we'll throw there. And then this one up towards the corner, off of the edge a little bit, and same with this one. And then our Peekaboo Peach is going to come up here. And our So Saffron. And then this little bitty teeny tiny piece, we're going to cut off the stem of the cherry. And obviously, if you guys have a 1/4 inch punch, that's even better. I just did not. So this is our basic layout here, and for my card I went ahead and I used the fine tip glue pen to glue everything down. You can also use regular adhesive, but for this card I just went ahead and threw everything on using this. So I will fast forward through this while I glue everything down. So now that I have everything glued down, I'm going to take some scissors and I'm just going to cut off the excess of my circles off the edge. You can also use a paper trimmer for this if you would like. So that's just going to get all cut off here. pretty simple. And another note I wanted to say quick is if you do use the fine tip glue pen, I did get a little bit of it on here and it dries a little glossy. So just be careful when you're gluing everything down that you don't get that glue pen on the outside of your circles. So I'm going to bring in my embossing folder quick, and we're just going to run this through and give it some more dimension. I think that this looks pretty sweet, and you could use it without the embossing folder as well, but I liked the extra dimension that it gave, and it kind of sandwiched all of those little circles together and made it almost look like, you know, it was one whole piece. I kind of had thought about using the oh, my brain is the hexagon, you know, my favorite one, but I thought maybe the circles would just be kind of a little bit more fun with this particular card. So isn't that just kind of cool how it gives it just that little extra bit, and then it really sandwiches down and almost makes our circles like they become one with the paper. Become one with the paper. I don't know where that came from. Sorry, I digress. So I'm going to go ahead and just adhere this down onto my basic black. And then we're going to go ahead, and the one thing that I wanted to mention quick is when you use this particular die, it cuts out both, like it cuts out two different pieces, which I thought was really cool, because when I first went to go cut this die out, this is not what I was expecting to get, but it was a little happy surprise, because then I went ahead and I cut out a second one in the Whisper White, so then I had a little bit of a frame that I could use with the basic black. So I'm going to go ahead and use my fine tip glue pen, and I'm going to glue this down. And that's just going to go probably about here, just covering up some of that little peekaboo peach circle. And you want to make sure it gets on straight, which this one's kind of fighting me. So this one might be a little messy. Well, I already have several made up. So okay, I'm just going to call that one good. We're going to stick that down, and then I'm going to stamp on my sentiment onto the other part of the banner, and that's just going to be in my basic black, the archival. And I'm going to pull this down just a little bit so I can make sure that I get it centered without hopefully sticking my head in the way. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm going to let that dry for 2 seconds, and I'm going to pull out my Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm just going to put a few on the back of that banner. And these Stampin' Dimensionals worked out really good because I just lined up the edges with, you know, the edge of my banner, and I didn't have to cut anything down. And that's just going to go right here in the center, hopefully. At this angle, sometimes I'm not sure if I'm getting it directly in the center, but it always looks good this way, and then I look at it and it's a little off, but I think that should be good. I wanted to show you the other one that I made in just with a black background. I thought it turned out really super cool too. So I went ahead and used just both of the white banners for my black one. And I couldn't decide which one I liked better because I really love the pop of the color on the black background, but I loved the contrast of the black card base with the little black banner on here. So there's no extra ribbon, no extra embellishment, no, what's that stuff called? Oh, the Wink of Stella that I am so famously known for putting on everything. But I just thought it turned out really sweet. Super simple, super quick, super cute. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will have the dimensions on my blog along with a little PDF that you can print out that will give you the exact dimensions for each of the colors that I used in the circles. Thanks again for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.